Okay, we're going to start 3.4 by using our slope-intercept equation. And if you could remember, the slope-intercept equation, it's y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So when looking at a graph, we could find the slope and the y-intercept. And if you look here, we see that this graph crosses the y-axis at 0, 2. So that is our y-intercept. So we know that the y-intercept is 2. Now, well, all we need to do is find the slope. So when we've been talking about slope, it's been y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. But another way we could look at it is just by talking about it as rise over run. So all we need to know is find out how much it rises and find out how much it runs. So when we relate this point and that point, we see from this point to that point it rises 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We see that the rises are 7. And now how much does it run? It runs 1, 2. So we know here that our rise is 7 and our run is 2. Keep in mind that this slope is a positive slope. Remember, a positive slope will always look something like this, which that one does. A negative slope will look opposite. Will look something like that. So we could say that this is a positive slope. So now they want us to put this answer in the form of y equals mx plus b. Well, now we can't be known because now we know what our m is. Our m is 7 over 2. X plus, well, we know what our b is. Our b, otherwise known as our y-intercept here, is just 2. So now we just set it up in y equals mx plus b there. So what they want us to do here is they're going to want us to graph this 5x plus 2y using the slope and y-intercept form. Once again, remember our equation where it has our slope and our y-intercept form. So what we were doing last section we saw equations like this and they were asking us to find the slope. Well, how did we do that? We basically got y by itself. We know when we have y by itself, our slope is whatever is in front of the x. So let's go ahead and get y by itself. We subtract 5x from both sides, because we'll see that will cancel. We'll be left with 2y equals negative 5x plus 10. And now what do we do? Just divide everything by 2. We'll see y will equal negative 5 over 2x plus 5. So now we can look at this and say that this is our y-intercept. And this negative 5 over 2 is my slope, which we are referring to here as rise over run. So to graph, you first plot your y-intercept, which here we see it to be 5. We go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's your first point here. And second, you use your slope. Now, What I want you to know is, remember, your slope is rise over run. Okay? If your slope is negative, when it's a negative, you're going to rise down. When it's a positive, you're going to rise up. And we will always run to the right. So here we see we have a negative slope. It's -5. When it's a negative, we go down. So here we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to run 1, 2. Now we got our 2 points. You connect these dots. And we have our line there. Now they want us to find the equation of the line having the given slope and containing the point. So basically they're going to want it once again in y equals mx plus b. The problem here is that we're not given the y-intercept. We're just given a point. But we are given a point nonetheless that has a y and an x, and we're given an m. So we can just plug that into here. Remember, this is your x. That's your y. So you have -8 equals your m is 5/6. Your x is 1 plus b. So we don't know what b is. So we combine these like terms. We get -8 equals 5/6 plus b. Well, how do we get b by itself? We subtract 5/6 from both sides. Because it was positive, that will cancel. And what do we get when we subtract -8 minus 5/6 by using your calculator? You'll find that you get it to be -53/6. So now we know our b. So now we go back, and and we know what our y-intercept is. So we can just plug it in. Our m is 5/6 x minus our b is a -53/6. So you see with this problem is even though we're not given our y-intercept, as long as we're given a point and an m, we can plug it into our point slope, our slope-intercept form equation, find our b, and replace it now. So now here they want us to find an equation containing 2 given points. This is not quite the same because we're not given an m. We're given 2 points but not an m. But we know with 2 points we can find an m. Our m is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we get 4 minus 1 over 12 minus 4, 3/8 is our slope. So now we go back to our equation, y equals mx plus b, and just like we did the last problem, pick any one of these 2 points. I'm just going to pick this one because the numbers are smaller. 1 equals, our m is 3/8. My x now is 4 plus b. 1 equals, so what do we get when we multiply here? That will turn into 1. That will turn into 2. You get 3/2. Plus b. Subtract 3/2. Subtract 3/2. So that's a positive. B equals, well now all you got to do on your calculator is do 1 minus 3 over 2 should give you negative 1/2. Now are we done? I hope you guys say no, because that's just our b. They still want it in our y equals mx plus b form. Y equals, what's our m? 3/8. What's my b? Negative 1/2. Now we go ahead and say we're done now. Similar to the last problem, the only difference with the last problem is, so here they want us to write an equation line containing the given point, 7, 9, and also that's going to be perpendicular to this given line. So the first thing we're going to do is start off by finding what our slope is. So remember, to find what the slope is, we need to get y by itself. So I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides. We have y equals negative 5x plus 7. Make sure this is negative. So here we see our slope is negative 5. But they're saying perpendicular. So remember, we talked last section, for it to be perpendicular, it must be the opposite and a reciprocal. This is a negative 5. The opposite of negative 5 is a positive. You can rewrite 5 into a fraction by putting it over 1. So the reciprocal of 5 over 1 would be 1/5. So now we have our new slope. My new slope is 1/5. And now I can use a point that they gave us, 7/9. And now we can just do what we were doing the last two problems to find our b. Just plug this stuff in, find our b. Seven over 5 plus b. Once again, we subtract 7/5 from both sides. Subtract 7/5. Once again, you go back to your calculator to find that difference. Looks like it is 38 over 5. And just like that, now all you can do is just plug your m and your b, and you have your solution. Your m, because we're talking about perpendicular, has to be 1/5. And your b, this time we have a positive, 38 over 5. Well, there you go. This last problem, we're looking at a word problem here. It says the printer charges $1.90 for binding, plus 10 cents per page. 10 cents per page. So that's our rate, right? That is our rate, otherwise known as our slope, like we talked about in the last section of the word problems. They want us to write a cost equation. So the first thing they ask us is, what's the fixed cost? What cost does not change? Well, $1.90. $1.90 is just your flat fee. That's going to be your fixed cost. Now, what's the variable cost? Well, the 10 cents, because it says 10 cents per page, so that's your variable cost, or your rate. So now that we know these two things, we could set this up into y equals mx plus b, where this is your b and that is your m. So you see, that's how I get the following answer here. Now they ask, what will it cost to produce 25 pages? Well, the 25 is just your x. So now you just got to plug it into your equation. Y equals 0.10 times 25 plus $1.90. So what do we get there? This is all, you can just put all of this in your calculator. You get a solution of $4.40.